For the Dodgers, it's all about team first, egos last, leave them at the door. We'll get to that story. Ohtani living a dream in real life. And how did the rest of the players handle with the acquisition of Ohtani? I want to get to that story. Also, Dodgers going to honor Valenzuela at the World Series and next season too as well. And the Freddie Freeman quote of the day. Let's get down to business. Dodgers Digest, Brad J with you. Let's go for it. For the Dodgers, it's team first, ego last. Okay? And after the 2023 Diamondback loss, President Freeman reached out to Betts and Freddie on pursuing Shohei. I mean, how many presidents of baseball teams do that? Is that a common thing? I'm speaking from not knowing. I don't think that's like an everyday thing when the president reaches out to the other players on the team and says, or at least like just a couple of them says, hey, because it doesn't sound like you reached out to everyone. So get to that story too as well. Faces of the franchise in the past, and how are you a big star baseball player, and then you have to share the limelight? It's not easy, right? All right, well, let's talk about it, right? Let's get down to business. Freeman and Betts have both been the faces of the franchise in the past. Freeman, of course, was the leader for a very long time with the Braves. And Betts did the same dealio with him, responsibility towards the end of his tenure. He did that with the Sox. And unquestionable, he's the leader, the Dodgers organization at the end of the 2023 season. It's Betts, right? And so you got an ego, man. How do you deal with an ego? Reminds me of a story. My boss, one of my announcing bosses at the Olympics, once told me, leave your ego at the door. And that's exactly what the Dodgers are doing because they're playing for the name on the front of the jersey. And that, help us say, is that people say that all the time, but that's a big deal right there. All right, let's keep it going. However, check this out. Betts and Freeman, they're not concerned about being the face of the franchise with the Dodgers. Not at all. And see, that's the mark of a champ right there. It's not always about you, right? And what they said, they're not concerned with all that being the franchise face. I don't think anyone cares about that, Bet says. And this is what as a Dodger fan, you want to hear this right here. They don't care. It's not about me, beat your chest, I'm the guy. I don't want to say we don't want to do it. And obviously they all want the big stage. You're going to tell me Betts doesn't want to hit a home run in the clutch, right? It's not anyone's agenda to be the face of anything. So no one's like having to run with that title with the Dodgers. And I think that helps because you got those stars. You got Betts. You got Freeman. You got Shohei. These guys have been big-time stars. They have led teams. But now you got three guys that could be the leader on any team in baseball. And here they are. For them, it's the beauty of them together, working together as a team. So big ups to the way they're playing. And after the Dodgers just got punked in so many last few seasons by different teams, this is a big deal for the Dodgers. And you see things turning around a lot more. Ohtani, of course, living a dream in real life, he said, quote unquote, that he's watched the World Series his whole entire life. And his whole goal as a little kid in Japan growing up was to play in the World Series. So he is definitely achieving that dream. And how's he been doing? I mean, he's been just on fire. And it's like, remember that everyone's talking about pitching. It's like, okay, the dude doesn't need to pitch. Okay, here's where I think pitching this season would be okay for him. Game 7. And nobody was left. Everyone was done. And he was the only guy left to be able to pitch to win the game. I would say bring him in. But here's what he's done with the bat, though. And this is kind of a good reason why you don't see him start to pitch. This is his last 50 at-bats. Look at the numbers right there. 50 at-bats, 6 home runs, okay? So basically, about a home run, every 9 games, something like that. No triples, but I feel like that could be a thing at Yankee Stadium. 6 doubles. Look at that. Was it 15? 15 singles. That is a lot. That is a lot. 4 walks. Only struck out 5 times out of those 50. And there you go, right there. That's what Shohei has done last 50 at-bats. And quite well. I mean, you start looking at it that way. All right, how did the acquisition of Shohei all come down? And we talk about Freeman, the president, like letting players know, which is, all right, Freeman wanted to let both players know that they were going to go after Shohei. So if you're a star player at that point, and then your president calls you and say, hey, look, man, I know you're the star, but we're going for this dude who's a brighter, shinier star than you are, but we want to keep you and work together, right? So that's exactly how that goes down. And you got to think, if you're a guy like Freddie, you're going to have an ego. If you're a guy like Mookie, you're going to have an ego. There's no way you don't have an ego to be that good of a baseball player. You have to. So how do you keep that ego in check? And how the guys have done it is the amazing part about the whole thing. And Freeman went on to say, it's really important to have your star players set the tone. Depending on how they handle the stardom and the responsibility, has a pretty major impact for the culture of your team. And that is well said right there. Think about the culture of the team for the Dodgers. It's not about one franchise face. It is about a collective group of guys that believe in one thing, and that's that they can win at any level. And their whole goal was to win the World Series from the start. And you have to have the culture in your clubhouse. And then beyond with the talent of Shohei, Freddie, Mookie, it's all about they set the tone for the rest of the players. And so that gives the rest of the players opportunities to step up. And you think about that. That's well said right there. Because it's a gamble. You're putting together a bunch of guys who have strengths and everything, who have egos, who have this. But these guys have become friends, teammates first, and they are always rooting for guys on the team to do good. They're not out all by themselves to try and say, I got to do this. All right. Time for the quote of the day. This one comes to you from Freddie Freeman, the quote of the day. Saw this interview yesterday. Loved it. And here's what Freddie says. You could go 4 for 4 against a pitcher. Next time you face him, you could go 0 for 4. It's the World Series, and anything can happen. I grew up 5 minutes from Garrett Cole, the starting pitcher, and we are good friends. Looking forward to that. I did not know that he actually grew up near Garrett Cole. Like, they were 5 minutes apart, these guys. So Freddie Freeman is friends with Garrett Cole. There is no way in the world Freddie would be sitting out this game. He's healthy, and look for him to do good. So there's your matchup for tonight. Game 1 of the World Series. Dodger Stadium. Jack Flaherty, Garrett Cole, head-to-head. Show is on Fox. Make sure you subscribe. Dodgers Digest. We're going to continue all the way through the World Series and beyond. Yep, Mike Delson and myself putting out fresh content daily. Hit the subscribe button so you can be part of the latest, coolest thing the Dodgers got going. Dodgers Digest. I'm Brad J. Go Dodgers tonight, and always remember, think blue.